Hi everybody, and welcome to Jewel Family Farm. I hope you had a good week. I just wanted to let you all know, in case I have there's some new subscribers here, and welcome back to my old subscribers. I certainly do appreciate all of you. And so I upload one video a week. I do that at 12 a.m. Friday mornings. And so I just want to let you all know that that's when I do that. I do make a few little shorts videos, and that usually coincides with whatever it is I'm going to be working on or videoing for that week. So anyway, today I went out and I picked some more rhubarb, and I'm going to show you how I fix that and get it ready for the freezer. So this is a strange looking little thing here, but I went out and picked this in the garden, and I cut all the leaves off the top, and I wanted to keep it fresh. And you need to put, if you do cut the leaves off and you want to have it for a couple of days to keep it nice and crisp, you need to stick it in something with some water and put it in the refrigerator, and that'll keep it really nice and firm. It won't let it get all droopy. This one's a little droopy, but most of them are good and firm. So, and that's been in the refrigerator for a couple of days. So that's pretty good. This one, I don't know what happened to it. It's really droopy. All right, we're going to cut these up. Okay, so I'm just going to take these out, and we're just going to cut the ends off of each side. They've already been washed. I washed them when I took all the leaves off the top. I'm just going to cut them up. You cut them up as big or as small as you want. And I'm not going to peel the... Remember I told you last time that I pulled all these things off? I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to leave it on there. So just cut them up any size you want. If it's got a stringy on there that you know it's just not close to it, then I would pull that off. We got the farrier coming for the horses today, so if you hear people talking in the background, I've got the window open, and that's Bobby and Scarlett outside working with the horses. So I'm just gonna keep taking these, cut off the ends like I said. I went and picked most of what was left out there of the rhubarb, and there's still a few out there, but this is probably all I need for the season. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. I know that I want to freeze it because I want to go pick some more pick some strawberries. Strawberries weren't ready around here last week, but I think that they're ready to pick now. So I want to go get some strawberries, and I thought what I would do with this, once I get the strawberries, is I think I'm going to make some jam out of it, some strawberry rhubarb jam. So I'm just going to keep on cutting this up. This is going to be kind of a short video today, but I'm going to cut this up, and then I'll show you what else we're going to do with it. Okay, I wanted to show you some of these. Some of these are a little bit more tough. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and peel some of these, because I have a feeling if I leave that on there, because they're kind of just a little bit on the tough side, I think that it might be hard for it to cook up when I start mixing it with the strawberries to make the jelly or the jam. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these bigger pieces just to make sure that it cooks up a little more tender, with the strawberries. I think that would be better. Let's see, which one did I do already? it's tender. It's a little bit more tender when I pull that off. I don't really want that stringy stuff in my jelly anyway. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. Okay, so I've got it all chopped up here. And I have this pan, and I put a little bit of parchment in it, and I'm just going to put it out in there. Try not to make it too thick, because I don't really want them to stick, which I guess for the jam it doesn't really matter, because I'm not really, well, I guess I would still have to pull so much out and measure it, so we don't want it to stick together too much. Might have to get another pan. Yeah, this one. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to put a piece of parchment on top of that, because that's a deep pan, and that'll hold another layer. So that'll work out. Oh. Just lay that on top. Yeah, that'll work out just fine. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the freezer until it gets frozen, and then when that's done, I'll pull it back out and show you how I'm going to package it. Most of this is going to be made into jam, so okay, so only thing I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to go stick it in the freezer and let it freeze, and then when it's done we'll pull it out, and then I'll show you how I'm going to what I'm going to do with it after that. But I'm only freezing this for a very short time, because once I get my strawberries here at the house, I'm going to go get some this week probably, and start making the jelly. So this won't be in the freezer long, so I don't need to like seal it really good. It just needs to be in freezer bags for now. Okay, so my asparagus has been in the freezer for a couple of days now, because I had some other things that I had to do. I just couldn't get to it, but at least I saved it, and it is frozen, so you can see that it's frozen, and it comes off, you know, it's not all stuck together, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to freeze in a big clump like this where you couldn't pick out how much you wanted. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my asparagus before I seal it, and I'm going to use my food saver to seal it. So I think I'm going to do it in maybe 2 cups portions, and that way usually anything you use comes in 2 cups of fruit, or 2 cups of whatever you're going to use, you know, to make bread, or in my case I'm going to make jelly out of it, but I'm going to use it in 2 cup portions to seal it up. And I'm just going to use this food saver. Let's see. I don't use it all that often, so I have to think how to use it every time. So I'm going to seal it, seal the end so I can cut it, and then that way I can fill this end. So this little light blinks until it's sealed, and then I just open it up and I pull it down a little bit, because see, it's sealed right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I'm going to pull it down a little bit so when I cut it, I won't cut my seal. So it just has this little blade here, and that cuts it. So I almost got the seal. I didn't pull it down quite far enough, but it's still sealed. So, and I'm just gonna put this 1 cup, and then I'm going to get another cup and put that in. That way I'll have 2-cup portions, and I can pull my bag out depending on how many cups that I need. Now, if I need 3 cups of something, the good thing about it is you can pull it back out of the freezer and get out what you want of it, because it's in, you know, loose pieces here. It's not all clumped together. And get out what you want, and then seal it back up and put it back in the freezer. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to place this thing right here. Now this is dry. It doesn't have any moisture in it. And this here little thing here is like if you're canning, if you're freezing something that has moisture in it. Like when we butchered our hogs, and I was sealing the pork. Of course, that's a wet substance, so I had to put it in this little thing, this little tray right here, because some of the fluids from the pork would come out, but it'd catch in this little tray. So I don't know if I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say. But this here, I don't really need to put it in that, so I can just lay it across here like that. Close the lid on it, lock it, and just put vacuum, and it'll vacuum and seal it. So you can see it shrinking up here, and you just let that run until it cuts off. And you just wait till this goes off, because now it's sealing. And see, this here has dry, moist, and pulse. I'm not sure what the pulse is for, but the dry is for this stuff, and the moist would be like if I was freezing, packaging ham steaks or something like that. Okay, so everything's cut off, so it's done. And you just take it out, and it's sealed up nicely and vacuum packed. So that'll help keep all your food fresher in the freezer. So I'm just going to put rhubarb, rhubarb, 2 cups, and I'm going to put today's date, which is 4/28/24. And that way I'll know that there's 2 cups of rhubarb in there, the date, so that way I can determine, okay, maybe I'll pull it out from a year from now and I think, well, I'm not too sure I want to use this. You know, I'm sure it lasts longer than a year, and I would probably use it anyway, but some things have an expiration date on them, so that just helps you remember how long it's been in your freezer, more or less. This is what it does. Alright, so I'm going to pull out a little bigger piece this time, because that was a little bit too small. I'll pull it out about like that. Fasten it down. And I'm just going to seal it, because I don't need to vacuum it right now. I just need to seal the edge where I'm going to cut it. You really have to get this in the freezer quickly though, because if it starts thawing, then it's going to start clumping together. So I'm just going to pull this down. I'm going to cut it. Alright, that's a little bit bigger. So there's 1 cup. And this thaws really fast. I can see that. I'm having to hurry here. There's 2 cups. So lay it in here. Lay it on there, close the top on it, lock it, push vacuum. Sometimes you have to give it a little jiggle. And now it's sealing it. And that's it. So you just write on it. Two cups and the date. And that's it. I'm going to finish this up and then I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so now that I have all my rhubarb packaged and put in the freezer, because all this is going to go into making some jelly, but I don't have time to do it all right now. So what I want to do is I want to freeze the things I want to make the jelly out of. So the rhubarb and the strawberries, both are what I want to make jam out of. So I'm going to also clean my strawberries and get them ready for the freezer. And with the strawberries, since I am making jam, I don't have to really freeze them, flash freeze them individually. Now, if I was going to want them for other things, just to eat or put in smoothies or whatever, I would flash freeze them individually, so that I could, you know, pick out the ones how many I want after I put them in the bags to freeze. So, but because I'm not doing that and I'm going to make jelly, it doesn't matter if they all freeze together because it's all going to go into a pot and cook with the rhubarb, and it's just going to all mush together. Now, I could have did the rhubarb the same way, but I was hoping that I would have enough rhubarb for other things other than just jelly. So, and since the rhubarb, it only lasts for a very short time in the spring, I wanted to have some frozen for other things later on down the road. The strawberries, though, I am planning on using all those for the jelly this time. So I'm not going to flash freeze those, and I'm just going to clean them, package them, and throw them in the freezer. Okay, so I've got a bunch of strawberries. Now, I didn't go to the berry farm and get these. I just have been very, very busy this past week, and the strawberries are coming in now. Now, I might go out to the farm and get some at a later date if I can get out there before they all get gone. But these are just from the grocery store, and we're just out of jelly, and I don't particularly care for store-bought jam and jelly, so I try to make my own. So all you do is, I mean, most people know how to clean strawberries. You just cut that off, and of course they've already been washed really well. And I'm just going to cut them in half so that they'll cook down easier when I go to cook them. Maybe I'll cut them in fourths. So when I go to cook them with the rhubarb to make the jam, they'll be already cut down some. So I'm just going to cut them in fours. And just cut all these. The reason I've been busy all week is at my church, I've just been voted in to be the hospitality person for our church, and we had a funeral yesterday at church that I had to be in the kitchen to help set everything up for that, and then so yeah, I was really busy. I was gone just about all day yesterday, so it's been kind of a little hectic this week, and of course I had other things going on too, but that was the main thing, that I had to be gone from the house yesterday for several hours. Alright, so I'm just going to cut these up and get them ready for the freezer, and when I get done with this, I'll be back. Okay, so I got all my strawberries cleaned and got all the little green parts, little green off the top. I'm looking at my Sure Gel recipe. So cook the jams is what I want to make, because I don't want to strain this out. I want to keep the berries, you know, pretty in good little tiny pieces in the jam. So if you're making jelly, you would cook all your fruit down, and then you would strain it through a cheesecloth or a food mill and just get the juice out. And that's what makes jelly. Jam is when the fruit is in it. So looking down here for strawberry. So since there's no strawberry rhubarb, and that's what I'm going to make, I need 8 cups of strawberries. So I need 5 cups of crushed strawberries. So if I have, and I want mostly strawberries more than jam, more than rhubarb. I want the strawberries, I want the little bit of tangy taste of the rhubarb, but not a lot. So I would cook up, I would make probably maybe 7 cups of strawberries and 1 cup of rhubarb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how many cups this is, and I'm going to try to freeze it in 7-cup increments. I don't think I have enough for 2 7 cups, so I might have might have 7 cups right here. I'm not sure, but I'll see how much I have. And if I don't have enough strawberries for 7 cups, then I'll add enough rhubarb to make up the difference of how many cups I need, if that makes sense to you, if I'm saying it correctly. All right, so let me seal this. So I want 7 cups of berries and 1 cup of rhubarb. Keep count or I'll forget what I'm doing. 6. All right, here's 7. All right, so see, this is, I would consider this pretty moist. So I need to change the sealing thing to moist instead of dry. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to stick it right down in this little green slot. Close it up. Vacuum. Seal now. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and freeze it, and then write how many berries there are, or how many cups of berries, and so this is done. See, so there's, you can see where it's sealed. It's sealed here, but this is like the juice that came out of it. And then in here, this little green thing here is full of juice. See it moving around in there? So I'm going to dump that. Okay, put it back in here. Alright, I'm going to write on here. I need a paper towel. It needs to be dry if you're going to write on it with a permanent marker, or else it messes up the markers. We don't write very well. So I know it's strawberries, I can see that. So I'm just going to put 7 cups in today's date. Alright, so that's ready for the freezer. So then I'm going to see how much this is. And I'm going to go ahead and freeze these too, because what I can do is cook these down at another time and make another dessert, or put it on top of ice cream, or cook it down and add some sugar to it, and you can put it over biscuits, like a strawberry, what are they called? Strawberry shortcake. Or you can put it over top of pound cake or sponge cake. It's really good on, or ice cream. So I'll cook this down at another time, and we'll make something else out of that. So let me get enough out here. Seal it. But I still want to know how much is in the package, how many cups I have in the package. Okay. Pull it down and cut it. So here's 1 cup. There's 2 cups. And that's probably about right out of half a cup, so 2.5 cups. So again, I'm going to stick it in that little green slot, and I'm going to push moist and put it down on the moist. And then I'm going to push vacuum. Sometimes you have to restart them. I don't know why. You have to flip them over sometimes. They have 2 different sides. This is a slick side, and the other side is a rough side. So I'm not sure. I think you have to have the slick side up. So I want it on moist. And sometimes I don't know why it takes longer than others. There it goes. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It just takes it longer. Okay. It's sealing. Alright, that's it. And it's got a little bit of water in the top of it. So, what was that, 2? shoot, I done forgot now what I said. 2.5 cups?
I wasn't listening.
Oh, I think it was 2.5 cups. I think. Oh well, I'll put that. Okay. And that's it. So these will be frozen until I'm ready to make jam or toppings for cake or ice cream. Empty this little guy out. Put it over here. You got to clean your machine out really good. I'll get some soapy water and clean this out in a few minutes. But that's it. So on the next video, I'll be showing, or not the next video, but in a couple of days, I'm going to pull this back out of the freezer and we'll make some jam.